This is WFYI News Now. It's November 7th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, a new unrestricted cash initiative will help pregnant women in Indianapolis. Drivers can once again make a pit stop when driving into Indiana from Illinois on I-70. And roughly half of central Indiana residents experienced food insecurity in the past year.
When you see that many people relying on SNAP and you know that they're not getting their benefits this month, it's a huge concern.
Those stories coming up, but first. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita is suing Indianapolis Public Schools. He alleges the district's policies on immigration enforcement break state law. Eric Weddle has more.
Rokita claims IPS violates Indiana's anti-sanctuary law by refusing to let federal immigration officers into schools without a judge's warrant, and by stopping staff from sharing information about students' immigration status. Rokita argues those restrictions interfere with federal enforcement and put students at risk.
We warned IPS to stop these sanctuary policies or face the consequences in court. They didn't listen.
IPS has said its policies follow federal privacy law and protect students and families regardless of immigration status. Late Thursday, the IPS board described the lawsuit as a superficial effort for political gain. I'm Eric Weddle.
A new unrestricted cash initiative will help pregnant women in Indianapolis. Jill Sheridan reports the new project targets areas with the highest infant mortality rates.
The project will offer 100 women unconditional cash during and after their pregnancy. Eligibility includes residency in certain Indianapolis zip codes and a household income of less than $39,000. The fund is fully philanthropic with support from numerous local foundations and the city. Selected participants will receive more than $20,000 over a 3-year period. In addition to the funds, participants will have access to health care support, community resources, and family education. Parts of Indianapolis have rates of infant mortality 2 to 3 times the national average. Low-income families are more likely to lose an infant. The program will be evaluated by a local research institute. I'm Jill Sheridan.
Drivers can once again make a pit stop when driving into Indiana from Illinois on I-70. Indiana's I-70 Eastbound Welcome Center has reopened after more than 2 years of reconstruction. Governor Mike Braun, IndyCar President Doug Bowles, and other public officials cut the ribbon Wednesday at the new Clear Creek Welcome Center. The newly designed rest stop celebrates the state's Indianapolis 500 history. Visitors will be able to interact with exhibits. Other amenities available are restrooms, a children's playground, a walking path, and a dog park. It replaces the previous facility that was built in 1992. The Welcome Center is part of the Indiana Department of Transportation's $600 million to improve 20 rest stops within the next 10 years. And for our final story today. Roughly half of central Indiana residents experienced food insecurity in the past year, according to a new survey from the Indy Hunger Network. As Ben Thorpe reports, the survey was done before the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, was impacted by the federal government shutdown.
The survey was conducted earlier this year and asked respondents to rate their food security between April of 2024 and March of 2025. Over half said they experienced some level of food insecurity, and 37% said they were missing meals because they didn't have enough food. Kate Howe is the executive director of the Indy Hunger Network. She says the SNAP program was one of the main ways people were getting the food they needed.
When you see that many people relying on SNAP and you know that they're not getting their benefits this month, it's a huge concern.
SNAP provides for 50% of the meals of people using food assistance in Marion County, according to Howe. She says food pantries and food banks won't be able to make up that loss. I'm Ben Thorpe.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Zach Bundy, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Monday.